How is it possible that at 40 years of age, a boxer can compete against top-ranked welterweights who are bigger, stronger, and more importantly, much younger, and still be able to put them in trouble? That boxer is Manny Pacquiao. We are Skillr Boxing, and today we are going to take a look at how he did it. While the glory days of his career are over, Manny was still able to give the fans incredible performances in his last few professional bouts and still continues to put on a show in his exhibitions. While he is still fast, at over 40 years of age, he is not as strong and agile as the younger guys. But then, how do you explain him beating a 29-year-old champion in 4 different weight classes like Adrian Broner, or a 30-year-old undefeated at that time Keith Thurman? And how is he still able to compete at a high level at 42 years of age against a much bigger Ugas? Well, Olympic gold medalist Anthony Joshua has the answer.
You're very strong guy, listen. You're very strong. I don't care about strong, I have that skills. Being strong doesn't win boxing. Okay. Skills win boxing. Yeah, okay. You're not strong, how did you beat me? Let's do this. How? Because of skills.
Today, we will look at exactly what skills and techniques Manny has used to be able to compete with much younger opponents, showing the importance of fundamentals and technique in boxing. Before we start the breakdown, we wanted to introduce you to our sponsor, Boxing Training for Fighters, a new boxing platform designed for future champions. This powerful training tool helps you develop with structure and improve faster. Transform into an elite pugilist in just 90 days. Download Boxing Training for Fighters. So let's start with the boxing stance. Boxing stance. Now, as we all know, Manny is a southpaw, and perhaps one of the greatest southpaws in boxing history. As a southpaw, Manny already starts with an advantage because the majority of other boxers are orthodox and are not as used to fight the opposite stance. Let's do a simple math equation. Let's take 100 boxers. 20% are southpaws and 80% are orthodox. A southpaw would fight 80 orthodox boxers and 19 southpaws. An orthodox boxer would fight 20 southpaws and 79 orthodox boxers. When southpaws and orthodox meet, the southpaw has 50 fights more experience over the orthodox boxer against the opposite stance. With the length of his career and the advantage of being a southpaw, Manny had a lot of experience over the younger guys he faced. Manny is quite playful with his hands and is always changing its positioning. He brings them up and down constantly, always shifting between guarding himself and being more on the offensive. This allows him to give the opponent different looks and transition between defensive and offensive sequences. He is also constantly moving his head in different frames.
Rounds 5 through 8. I assess my performance, see where I am.
This constant motion hinders the opponent from setting up their most fundamental punch, the jab. They have a hard time landing their jab as the target is constantly moving, which difficulties them setting up other punches as well. He also maintains a high guard, but instead of being in a crouched position, he uses it to cover the head and adjust it depending on which punch is thrown. He shows a great understanding of blocking and parrying.
Nobody's going to deny that. Maneuver on his feet.
As clean living.
An interesting move we have seen him use time and time again is simply keeping the high guard up and cross-walking backwards.
Double body.
He's too quick for this guy. Go after him with your speed. He's doing great.
That way, he quickly gets out of range while protecting the head and taking the power of his opponent's punches.
This is round 7.
But now, let's look at his best skills. Skills. Positioning. As with many southpaws, Manny is aware of the advantages of the outside foot position, especially to land his straight left.
We're missing so frequently. We're missing so.
However, what's also very interesting about Manny is how he is able to use the inside foot position to his advantage and land the rear hand also. Now, as you will have seen in one of our recent videos, throwing a straight punch while your lead foot is inside the opponent's lead foot often tends to be a bad idea. Your rear arm is not in center alignment with the opponent's face, while your opponent's is. Now, while on the inside track, your rear is not in alignment, the lead hand is.
Slowed down just a bit.
Which opens a lot of possibilities for the jab.
A few rolls up for just a second and lands. The run is landing more.
Manny will often use the inside track to exploit his fast jab, which will also allow him to land bigger punches.
You can get some room in some space. 6.
In there as well, and a full-size welterweight.
And he's changing the rhythm a little bit.
You can see Manny land the rear hand from the inside track too. As mentioned, because with the lead foot on the inside, the rear hand is not in alignment, so he has to adjust the trajectory of his rear.
That's all well and good. And hands.
And slipping punches.
Manny will pivot with his rear leg as he is throwing the straight, so he doesn't end up overreaching. That way, he is able to still reach his target.
The fact of the matter is that more hands.
Another technique we have already reviewed on the channel is the swivel jab.
That occasionally he's got to do it most of the.
Manny has a great swivel jab and has great combinations ending with the lead in general.
Remarkable. 8th Division World Champion Manny. Movement by DKU there.
Oftentimes, he prefers to end them in jabs and uppercuts, which is no coincidence. With the hook, and because of his shorter reach, he would often fall short and miss its mark. Instead, when ending this jab straight combo with another jab or an up jab or uppercut, Manny is able to use the forward momentum and still hit his target even if they are stepping back away from him.
And you always wonder, comfortable always inside. The punch, but Manny's hands are so fast with his hands.
Bouncy footwork. You only have to take a look at Manny's fights to realise just how important footwork is in his game. Almost always on his toes bouncing. All of his abilities were greatly enhanced by the explosiveness in his footwork. He may not have had that same bounce he once did when he was younger, but one can still see glimpses of prime Manny's footwork in specific moments of his later fights.
but he's got to make this a firefight.
Bradley, something else. Keep his foot on the outside when he comes.
I mean, he's surprising me right now. I can't believe it. All right, thanks, Heidi. Freddie saying Manny is too fast for Keith Thurman.
And he said the 5th round is where you guys start to make adjustments. What did you tell him?
Anytime he sees Pacquiao making the move, he just throws it.
Closer for the counter.
Manny would still use his footwork to step in with his punches, and he would do this constantly. He doesn't keep his feet planted on the ground to sit on his punches. Instead, the power comes from him exploding forward with his feet and as he is taking steps.
Running away with it. No question. Yeah, Flurry, but again, he's older now. He's 42.
He also uses this bouncy footwork to blend in foot feints before committing to an attack. Juan Manuel Marquez realized it as a tell and was able to capitalize on it with a straight right counter with his lead foot on the outside.
Él sabía de su finta con las piernas.
Sí, que se movía.
Y la estudió.
A great display of ring IQ in counterpunching.
De momento, después de 24 asaltos, pues ven que tiene una falla o una tendencia de bajar su mano al momento de regresarla y por ahí le entró la mano.
But it usually served Manny to make his opponents second guess themselves before throwing at them. Additionally, Manny would use his feet in combination with throwing these punches from different angles, punching as he is taking steps in different directions.
He's not only will he come straight at you, he'll eventually end up on the side of you, and you don't know where he's at, and he'll hit you from the side, and then he'll end up on another side of you.
When Manny throws, he will be throwing in flurries, an incredibly hard thing to deal with. This older version of Manny, while patient, would still pick his moments to explode at the opponent with fast flurries.
Word of God, her husband here in Las Vegas.
Clever counterpunching. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of Manny's style is his defense and counterpunching ability.
You have to go by the boxing rules.
Oh, they're going to give one last push.
A move to highlight is the MANILA ICE, one of Manny's signature moves and a clever way of counterpunching. Simply put, the MANILA ICE is a lead hook counter that is thrown over the jab of an opponent in a downward angle.
It's not like this, because once your opponent go like that, you cannot hit anymore because you hook like that. But if you see, even he go down, then you can hit.
It is a jab snatcher as well, since it forces taller opponents to be more cautious with their jab because they know they'll be countered the moment they throw it.
Down in, and you get out of the way. He was 6 years old.
Work he did this round is very distance.
This can only, however, be pulled off if both guys are fighting in opposite stances, since the punch uses the lead hand to go over the opponent's lead hand. Aside from the MANILA ICE, Manny had another jab snatching technique, and this was his counter straight, which was very effective too. In combination with his head movement and footwork, Manny would bait the opponent into throwing a jab, or to even just extend their lead hand and then bring his head off the center.
We're missing something that's...
As he brings his head off the center, he then steps out their lead foot, then throws a straight, angling out to the side by the end of the movement.
Keep him occupied, mixing up his...
In this case, using the advantage of the lead foot on the outside.
Frequently, we're missing something that's...
Keep him occupied, mixing up his... I think Ugas is cut.
There is no tougher opponent than time, and no one can beat it. But Manny has shown that with great skill and experience, you are able to go the distance with it. At the end of the day, Even if your physical attributes from your youth may be gone, it is skill that will always remain. But now, we would love to know your opinion on the comments. Do you see any other skills that have helped Manny on this later stage of his career? Let us know, and if you like this video, you can find out more on our channel. And to your left, we have chosen a video that we thought you may like.